David here. Today I want to talk to you about peace, about happiness. So I believe it was Naval Ravikant that said this, but he said that when you have peace, you naturally have happiness. When you have a peaceful mind, you naturally get a happy life. And there's a saying that says, peace is happiness. No. Happiness is peace in motion. And peace is happiness. Let me look that one up. Hold on. Okay, the saying is, peace is happiness at rest, and happiness is peace in motion. So if that's the case, what is peace? What is this thing that we are calling peace? And from my experience, peace, I believe, is presence. I believe the saying is meant to direct us towards presence, being present to the moment, being in a very meditative type of state. And I can definitely tell you from experience that knowing about presence, knowing about being in the now, in the deep now, being in flow, learning about Eastern philosophy, and just not identifying with thoughts, but being the observer of these thoughts, these concepts have made my life so much happier. Not just happier, but just so much better. And I believe that this is what the saying is talking about. It's being at peace, being centered with time, being in the now. So here's the thing. Let's define peace and happiness by defining the inverse of peace and happiness. So what is the inverse of happiness? Well, you can kind of say like maybe it's sadness, it's anger, it's frustration. Well, if that's the case, how do we get angry? How do we get frustration? How do we get sad? Instead of defining it from a very superficial level, let's define it from a very deeper level. So how do we get sad ultimately? And let's follow the trail of whys back. Okay, let's operate from first order principles. Well, ultimately, what it comes down to is perception, right? Seeing an event and perceiving that as an angry event or a sad event, right? Because to other people, it's not sad to them. They're not angered by that event. It's just only to us. So it is with perception that creates sadness, anger, frustration, whatever it is, disappointment, whatever it is, the negative emotions are. So if that is the case, what is perception? Perception is merely a thought, isn't it? It's merely a thought. Well, what comes before thought? Well, it's consciousness, right? Consciousness, and we can't really define what comes before consciousness because it doesn't make any sense anymore, right? So we can stop at that, right? Consciousness comes before everything else. It precedes everything else. It precedes perception. It precedes these negative emotions, what we call negative emotions. So consciousness comes before everything else. And what is at the very core of consciousness? Well, it's honestly just stillness. It's stillness. Something is neither good nor bad. And from this place of stillness, I think you can argue that lies ultimate happiness. Lies ultimate peace. Because when you're just still in the moment, not being wavered by any thoughts, not seeking into the future, not dwelling about the past, but just being here, you can say that this is peace. And peace ultimately equals happiness. So instead of being bogged down by these negative thoughts or these negative events, and of course, we're all human, so from time to time, we're going to have our daily frustrations. But for the most part, let's stay present. Let's stay here in the now. Let's not be so bogged down by these thoughts that are arising in our minds. Because if you want to ultimately live a happy life, a lot of it is found in the present moment, here in the now. So let's take advantage of this. And let's be at peace for whatever happens in our lives. So that is today's reflection. This river and sunset manifesto that I had was about peace, it's about happiness, it's about being here in the now. So that's it for today's video, my friend. Hope you found some value out of this one. And I'll talk to you in the next one. This has been David. Out.